Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. Celine Driver once again, bringing you another unboxing and review of a watch that is mine. This watch is a Breitling, as you saw in the title. It's a rather unique Breitling watch from the Navitimer lineup. A watch that I've had my eye on Chrono 24, unsponsored mention, of course, for quite a while now. It's the only place I've ever seen one of these watches advertised for sale. It's a 1 year only production of a version of the Navitimer with a couple of unique features to it. And I finally was able to make the purchase happen through a couple of trades and sales of other watches that gave me the wherewithal to pick this one up. First of all, I never seen this kind of outer box for Breitling. This is very unique and interesting looking box. I don't know how to describe it. It's just crazy looking, kind of a psychedelic thing to it. But inside the box is what we're all here for. Now, when I bought the watch, I bought the watch from a previous owner. It only came with the box, the inner and outer boxes, and this hang tag, which, you know, that's nice to have, but it didn't come with any paperwork. So thank God for eBay. I was able to procure rather easily a manual, a practice wheel, if you will, for the inner, slide rule bezel, and the slide rule instruction manual, which, you know, I mean, I'm not going to learn how to do the slide rule on this watch. I mean, I'm beyond that, but it's nice to have it for, you know, to have the full kit for if any time in the future I decide to sell the watch, which I probably won't, but full kit is always nice, or as full a kit as I can get, because I can't get a hold of the chronometer, sorry. Words are hard today. The chronometer certificate, but if I ever send the watch in, I'll get another one. You have the old school Bakelite box, because this watch is from the 90s. And inside, there's also the original clasp, and I'll get to that in a minute, but this is the original deploy clasp that came with the watch. And inside I have, and you get a nice little pin here too. This is kind of nice to have, this little, the old winged bee logo that kind of sticks there. And inside we have, you know, the watch itself, which is you can recognize it immediately as a Navitimer because of the subdial layout. But hey, there's a fourth subdial there that other Navitimers don't have. We'll get to that in a minute. The watch did originally come with a 101Y leather strap and this deploy buckle. Two problems. One, this deploy buckle is while it is a nice piece, it's a pain in the butt to work with, because the tail slides under there and it locks in really, really tight, which is a good thing. But if you have to adjust the watch on the fly to account for wrist swelling or shrinkage, that becomes really, really hard to deal with. And the original leather strap was disintegrating. So again, went on eBay, found a more modern strap, 435X for those of you who are keeping track with the Breitling nomenclature, and a Breitling winged bee pin buckle. And this works for me very well. I'm very happy with this. It is a used one, of course, but you can see the 435X stamped there. That's the part number for the strap. And it matches up very nicely with the watch, with the contrast stitching and the nice thick bolstering. So yes, it is a more modern strap than what came with the watch in 1997, but it also works for me very well. So what we have here is what's called the Breitling Navitimer 1461/52, or now the part number is A38022, and that is actually stamped on the watch. Focus right there. Now, it is a limited edition model. They only made 1,000 of these back in '97. This is number 279 out of 1,000, and I believe that is engraved somewhere on this watch. Oh yeah, it's right there. 279 out of 1,000. So, very nice to have. The 52 in the model number or in the description refers to this is the most unique part of this Navitimer is this subdial here at the 3 o'clock. This is a 52-week subdial. You can see it, tracks around 52 weeks out of the year. Right now it's pointed to the number 2 week because I'm shooting this in the second week in January. Other subdials are common to the 1461, and I'll explain that in a minute too. This subdial has chronograph hours on the outer track, and yes, I know it's pointing to 5. That's because there's a problem with this watch that I overlooked because it's not important to me. When the watch eventually does go for service, it'll be fixed then. But right now, and it won't reset here, I'll start the chronograph and you'll see. So the outer track is chronograph hours. The inner track is days of the week in Swiss or something. I don't know. It's not Spanish, although it looks similar to Spanish, but I think it might be Swiss or German. I speak 2 languages, people, English and bad English. Over here at the 9 o'clock, you have another subdial that tracks chronograph minutes on the outer track and month of the year on the inner track. And you can see right now it's pointed to January. At the 12 o'clock, you have the running seconds on the inner track, and on the outer track, it's the calendar, the day of the week, or the date of the week, I should say. Of course, you have your hour and minute hands here, and you have your running second. You have your chronograph second here, and you can see the chronograph moved there. Around the outer edge of the dial, you have your slide rule, a bidirectional, and thank God a stiff bidirectional bezel, allowing you to do calculations. Mostly you do multiplication and division. I don't know how it works. If you want to know how a slide rule bezel works on a Navitimer, you can go find one of a dozen different videos that Tim Masso over at Watchbox, unsponsored mention, has done with the Navitimer, and he demonstrates how to do it, or you can find videos galore all over the place on how to do a slide rule on the Navitimer. I don't know how. I don't care to know how. You have the signed crown. You have twin chronograph pushers. This one starts and stops the chronograph. This one resets. You have flush-mounted pushers for that one. Moves the calendar subdial. That one does day of the week. You have 2 more over here that do the month subdial and the date subdial. So, and those will work with a standard pusher tool on the end of a watch strap tool. Or if you want, you can buy for, I think, like $60. You can buy the official gold-plated Breitling pusher tool. They're all over the place on eBay. I may want full kit, but I'm not crazy about it. Everything is high-polished stainless steel on the watch head, as Breitling does. The watch came to me in really, really good shape. I just hit it with a Cape Cod cloth just for the hell of it, and it polished up beautifully. Hats off to the previous owner. He was not the most communicative person in the world on Chrono 24. I mean, his replies to my questions were one word or less. Or one syllable words or less, but it was a great guy to deal with, and gave me a really good deal on the watch. And as you can see on my 7.25-inch wrist, this watch fits beautifully, as all my Navitimers do. I think this is my 5th Navitimer, and it's just beautiful. No, 4th Navitimer. Yeah, 4th. Sorry. There will be a 5th and a 6th, I'm sure, because I am looking to collect the two. I have the Swiss Air Navitimer, and I'm looking to get a hold of the TWA and the Pan American Navitimers in the future. Fits beautifully. The new to me strap fits well. I love the way with the black dial and the contrasting white subdials, the contrasting stitching on the strap picks that up beautifully. Oh, I almost forgot the 1461 reference. This watch is what Breitling refers to as a near perpetual watch. If you take 365 days of the year and multiply it by 4, you come up with 1,460 days. Plus leap year is 1461. The only time, once you get this watch set properly, the only time you'll have to adjust the date is from February 29th to March 1st on a leap year. Otherwise, the watch inside does all the calculations and moving for you. So it's pretty much a what they refer to as a near perpetual. And that's where the 1461 comes in the name of the watch. Running this whole thing is a Breitling caliber B38. It's a base ETA 2892 A2 movement, but it's been modified by Breitling for their particular purposes. Too bad you can't see it, because I understand it's a nicely decorated movement, even though it's a solid case back. Sapphire crystal, of course. It is a slightly domed crystal. It is a 41.5 millimeter case. It's a little bit of a thick boy at 14.8 millimeters, but it wears very well. 22 millimeter lug. The original strap tapered to 18 millimeters. This one tapers to 20. 47.5 millimeter on the tip to tip. It is not very water resistant at all. It is only 30 meters water resistant. Now, quickly, the chronograph's been running for a while. You can see the chronograph is typical Breitling. It feels great when you push the buttons. No jumping to the chronograph second hand, because it's a column wheel chronograph. When you reset it, it's a flyback, and you can see that, the 2 of the 3 reset to 0 beautifully. The chronograph hours doesn't reset. It's a problem. I knew it was a problem when I bought the watch. The seller told me about it. I said, I don't care. The watch is in great shape. It's the watch I want. I'll take it. He knocked a little off for the fact that it's got a little problem. but it's fine. But 30 meters water resistant. It's not a swimmable watch. Do not take this thing underwater. The pushers are not sealed against water. The setting pushers aren't sealed. The crown isn't sealed. If water gets into this thing, you are going to have a bad day. It will not be a happy time. But then again, you have other Breitling watches or other watches that are underwater watches, don't you? Yes, you do. I am over the moon happy to have picked this watch up. I don't know if I'm going to put this watch in Grail Watch Accomplished category. It was a watch that I had my eye on for over a year. I guess I can call it a grail of sorts because it was a watch I really wanted. I kept my eye on the market for it. I did my research and did all the things I would do for any watch that costs a lot of money and I really, really wanted. But I made it happen, and I feel very blessed to have done so. So that is a Breitling Navitimer that you don't see every day. The 1461/52. Only 1,000 of them out there. A very unique Navitimer as far as they go. And very, very happy to have this. I hope you enjoyed this little review of the watch. And I hope you find it to be as good looking as I do. I love the way Breitling does their watch finishes. It's quality stuff, and even so, very affordable watches. Very, very easy to reach. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you found it to be entertaining, useful, informative. If you did, please click that thumbs up for me. That does help the channel with respect to the YouTube search algorithm. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to try and troll me, and you can certainly try, or you're going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I'm simply going to delete that comment and I'll block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Please watch as many videos as you like. Before you leave, though, don't forget to click that red subscribe button. If you're not new to the channel, but you haven't subscribed yet, please reconsider that initial decision and click that red subscribe button. Help me grow this channel. Don't forget to click the bell icon too, so that when I upload new videos or I do a live stream, you will be alerted. And as I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy old world out there. It is not getting any less crazy. So please, when you're out and about, be safe, be careful, be well. See you soon.